Hello and welcome. I'm Barry Rosenberg with Breaking Defense. I'm here with Ross Niebergall, Vice President and Chief Technology Officer for L3Harris. Ross is going to offer some of his insights into the importance of JADC2 in the DoD today. We'll be talking a little bit about how the DoD is going about doing it and how L3Harris is uniquely positioned to help the DoD in that endeavor. Hi, Ross. Thanks for joining us today.
Great to be here. Thank you.
So JADC2 has been on the radar for a couple of years now. Senior DoD leadership talks about it all the time. Breaking Defense writes about it all the time. I'm wondering what your view is on how JADC2 has evolved in the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's a great place to start the discussion because we went through a period where JADC2 fundamentally meant all things to all people. And over the last several months, I think that the discussion has really matured significantly, and we're getting down to what's really important. You know, I think fundamentally we all know what we need to do here, and that is we need to get better at ingesting and acting on vast amounts of data. That phrase sense, make sense, and act has come to describe JADC2, and it's really relevant. Additionally, Frank Kendall, the Secretary of the Air Force, has over the last few months really pulled back the veil and demystified JADC2 by asking the fundamental question of what are we really going to get from JADC2? And let's demonstrate that through modeling and simulation so we know where to focus our efforts to make sure that we are getting the benefits of this new paradigm. And for us, the great place to start is with sensing and integrating a vast number of sensors into the network. And that's probably also one of the most challenging areas.
Can all domain sensing from seabed to space really become a reality? Because as you know, it's not necessarily the sensing, it's the sharing of the data between the military services, which has been typically stovepiped off from each other. So what are your thoughts on possibly bringing down those stovepipes?
Yeah, that's a really relevant question. And earlier this year at the NDIA's All-Domain Warfare Symposium, Lieutenant General Kroll laid out 5 lines of effort that are really crucial to achieving JADC2. And one of those lines is data standardization. And I think that really hits the nail on the head and gets to the heart of the challenge of delivering this complex capability. And ultimately, JADC2 will come down to having a comprehensive set of data available anytime, anywhere, in all domains, sea, land, air, space, and cyber. And, you know, right now, it's oftentimes locked in proprietary systems where we're looking at the data through soda straws because of the siloed solutions and protocols. And we're going to need to change how we think about data as truly being a strategic asset that will fuel the joint fight. I think that the standards need to be addressed fundamentally by just kicking open the doors on closed systems and really demanding that industry implements modular open system approach, or MOSA, as it applies overall to the entire JADC2 architecture. So something that I like to say is leave the IP in the box and open up the standards between systems and subsystems to let industry innovate.
So moving on to communications, secure and resilient networks and communications are really one of the key enablers for JADC2. The DoD says they're making some progress on that, but I'm wondering how much progress we're going to see in a JADC2 type secure and resilient network. What are your thoughts on what needs to happen for that to truly be a reality?
Yeah, one of the reasons why the US has been such a force internationally is because of a powerful collection of command and control systems that have served us very, very well. Unfortunately, many of those command and control systems were developed in a time of centralized command, working in an expectation of uncontested electromagnetic environments. And the realization of JADC2 is that networks will oftentimes be challenged. And L3Harris's focus is on delivering resilient communication, and not just the promise of resilient communication, not just the lightning bolts and diagrams, but the reality. Because this is a critical facet to actually delivering on the promise of JADC2. We also have to to recognize that we need to have adaptable systems, since the techniques for contesting the environment will continue to evolve long after we deploy them. I think we need to have an increasing focus on low probability of intercept, low probability of detect communication, really recognizing that it's here today. So control the spectrum, control the data, control the fight.
Thank you, Ross. So one of the other key enablers is artificial intelligence and machine learning, and all of the military services have their AI, ML centers of excellence. They're working hard on trying to make that challenge of reality, but we know that it is going to be a large leap for them. How do you think L3Harris and industry can help the military with their AI, ML challenge?
Yeah, so I think we're all familiar with the expansive use of AI ML in the commercial world, but there are some great examples in defense as well. And a couple of those would be automatic target recognition from geospatial data, which has been done for several years, and work that we're doing on the maritime unmanned surface vessel, where we really are marrying autonomy with AI ML to create something that's pretty impressive. So we know that it can be done. We're also benefiting from a great maturation of the AI ML tools that are available, that are democratizing the use of machine learning and allowing us to have more and more of our engineering population embed this in capabilities every day. So some areas I think of low-hanging fruit for the Department of Defense and industry is really embedding AI and ML into automation tasks to reduce the staffing needs of routine activities and shorten the OODA loop. So honestly, I'm optimistic about the revolution in applying AI ML to defense applications is really just starting.